Welcome! Welcome to Paradice, everybody, and to our stream, Adrift in Aldhalor, our weekly actual play D&D show set in our homebrew world of Aradun. Our music is licensed through musicbed.com. Our ambience is through Syrinscape and TabletopAudio. Shannon. I tried to think of things to make like a fake disclaimer, but
you're talking so fast.
Yeah. Take it away.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Paradice and to episode 108 of our campaign. It's so lovely to be back in Hyven and yeah. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
It's infectious.
Oh gosh, it is infectious. I'm going to start by talking about some of our stream partners, and I will begin with Underground Oracle Publishing. They are a TTRPG publisher creating new worlds in the Cypher system and beyond. Their current focus is Foxfire, a science fiction TTRPG with a strong emphasis on high adventure and fun, full-throttle action where you play as anthropomorphic animals who left Earth behind long ago to take their place among the stars. For as little as $3, you can become a member through their website and gain early access to this developing TTRPG and each of the worlds that they create in the future. Next, we have Edward Yorke. He is our wonderful character artist. You will see our little portraits, our character portraits on the screen when everybody's there. He's an illustrator based in the UK who makes art for games and books. To visit his portfolio and get in contact with him, visit eyorke.com. Last but certainly not least, we have 1985 Games. They create affordable, accessible, high-quality accessories for D&D and other TTRPGs. In this campaign, of which we have almost 108 episodes, Sean has used their NPC cards to make some really awesome NPCs for us to interact with, and they're so much fun. And the cards have a bunch of info on the back to give you a quick start. On an NPC, they also have awesome art on the front, so you can give awesome descriptions. I use the word awesome way too much in that description. They're awesome. If you'd like to purchase them or any of their other awesome products, you can use the code paradiceprod for 10% off your entire order. You know the deal with recaps and VODs. They're coming. And join us in Paradise on Bluesky, Twitch, X, YouTube, Discord, Instagram, and the TikToks. Just watching Steph play with his cat.
Look at that. It's adorable.
It is adorable.
You can't see it, but now you can.
Woo!
Is Bardly off?
No, it's playing.
Let me restart it because it probably... You maybe came in.
There it is.
Yeah, you probably logged in after I started it. Shall we?
Recap?
Yes.
Let's.
Last we left off in, truthfully, both the epilogue of Saskia's Odyssey and the return of Adrift in Aldhalor, we got to see, like I said, the epilogue of Saskia's journey, where she invited her new companions, her new friends, to join her in Aldhalor. And with that, they arrived in Aldhalor with her. They were all willing to join in the adventures. Some for riches, some for glory, some for insecurities about prophecy. But of course, the key feature here is that Ty gifted to Saskia a new strategic vessel that his father's Merchants Guild was creating. So long as Ty is allowed to stay with her on as the representative and the navigator of the ship. Back in Aldhalor, our other heroes were completing some of their tasks, specifically Septimus casting the Hollow spell upon the lighthouse fort to try to prevent fiendish entities and other creatures from entering that space, either through extraplanar magic or literally walking in. He made an exception for elementals out of respect for Fyrn's spiritual beliefs. During this time, as Saskia is arriving to Aldhalor, Hyven, Fyrn spent the time looking for the priest of the elemental temple in Hyven, who has not been seen much since the destruction of that temple by Saskia's old patron. Jacquet goes about looking for leads on the Shadowmancer and other things about the goings-on of Hyven. Sass and her crew arrive, fumble their way a little bit through bribing a dockmaster, but ultimately do succeed in bribing them, and head to the Harlequin Chalice, where Sass is excited to show her new friends her own home, her digs, where she made her start. Along the way, Jacquet, disguised, spots them and tracks them a little bit. Ultimately, Jacquet finds them in the tavern and introductions are in order. We find out that Clara knows Jacquet from court back in Honduras and Ferathris and despises him, specifically for some of his swindling that she claims he did back in the old world. But despite this, arguably she doesn't make too much of a scene about it, but it entertains Sass to no end. They begin to head to the Lighthouse District to show Saskia around, but also to bring her to the other companions of Iron and Mana. Jacquet gives her cut of the silver the adventuring party has made, a nice fat 10,000 silver and some more. They find that once they arrive, the hollow spell prevents Ro from entering into the lighthouse fort, which irritates him to no end. But the party is finally reunited, and Sass distributes gifts to her former friends. A moonstone chain for Fyrn, as it reminded her of him and his white eye, as a token. A red ruby chain for Septimus to remind him of his human heart, that despite all the machinery will persist, who he is will persist. A broken box for Bruce, a broken music box, for Bruce, from her childhood bedroom, and a stationery set for Jacquet from her childhood bedroom for him to forge documents. We notice that Sass has augmented her gear with the quilt from her childhood bedroom, and also notice that Sass's eyes are both intact. She's no longer has the whited out eye that the original patron had taken because Sass killed her. But she does have red eyes due to her pact with Ro, not her natural born green eyes that she discovered in Tasaka. But the party catches up. They learn a lot about Sass's past, what she discovered, who she is, what she wants out of her future now, as well as the fact that she has a really sweet boat that she has named the Ana Flores after her original namesake. They talk a little bit about the goings-on of Hyven, the fact that Mr. Grieves is trying to seize control of the city, that Jacquet was nearly assassinated, and that there are dangers around every corner of Hyven. Saskia also opens up a little bit about her pact with Ro, saying that he is, in her words, he's not so bad. And that she does intend to uphold her end of the deal in helping him, although she's vague about what exactly that looks like. Ultimately, the party decides to go look at Sass's boat, enjoy the day before they have to get into some of the nitty-gritty of reclaiming Hyven, whether that is organically placing Jacquet in power via their own means of helping to guide the future of Hyven's democracy, or if it comes to the sword at the end of the day. Before we ended the session, we did have 2 vignettes. One vignette visiting Bruce in the academy, where Sigil arrives to give him his grandfather's notebook to say that he's made some progress and taken some notes down, and that Bruce may want to look at it himself. During this time, Bruce was frustrated with his tinkering of his cube, his magical cube that was his grandfather's. As Sigil steps away, the cube lights up, expands, and in a blink of an eye, Bruce disappears. Elsewhere in Hyven, we see another vignette as the evening comes of a syndicate hideout in the northern parts of the Widow's Ward, where we see what we can presume or assume is the lair of the organization, where we see a shadowy figure sitting upon a mahogany throne in a rather brutalist room, surrounded by sycophants and hirelings. In the middle of the room is a black pool that rises forth, a skeleton covered in black ichor that forms the very demon, the very fiend that tried to kill the party. The fiend beckons this figure that he will need more of his kind, more shadows, more shadowy fiends to kill Iron and Mana. That their cleric has grown even more powerful, and that they are much more of a threat than this entity believes. The entity berates the fiend, claiming what are they good for if they can't kill a cat? The fiendish creature sort of recoils and apologizes, naming the figure as Grieves. And this is our presumed antagonistic force, and a above-table confirmation of who is behind this assassination. That's where we left off. And where we're going to pick up is another vignette before we jump into our characters seeing a cool boat. Elsewhere in the city, on the same day, camera pans out and does a vista over Hyven as it travels further westward towards Piscator's Row before it, like a drone, weaves through the streets and the people and the various Chroma Fist hooligans on the streets until it lands upon the red dandelion and moving through cracks and crevices down into the dark caverns beneath the old tavern. We find ourselves in the dungeons of the Aradunai, of the Ascendancy. There are other criminals here in their eyes who've committed crimes against Aradun. Maybe AEC agents that they've captured. Other people who've worked against the interests of the elements in Aradun. We go deeper till we find a cell, cold, the floor loosely covered in hay that is wet and rotting. Curled in the corner, wrapped with a dirty blanket, we see the once brilliant, extravagant, confident Fiora Bendega, shaking. Her hair a mess, none of the fantastic makeup, just a ragged face, dirty. A guard walks past the cell doors. A door opens, some words are exchanged, a change of the guard. The patrol continues until eventually the guard rounds back and stops in front of Fiora's cell, their form silhouetted by the soul torch in the hallway. She looks up, that fire ember in the center of her eye, as the guard sort of kneels on the balls of their feet, holding a little crumpled up rag. She scurries towards the bars. The camera lingers on something that falls from her hands. A small makeshift knife, barely large enough to be dangerous, and a small wooden object that she's carving. Incomplete. But it looks like she's trying to fashion some sort of flute, ocarina, recorder.
Slide whistle.
Slide whistle, some kind of instrument, given her bardic magic. Cut off from her magic without any kind of spell focus or components. But she scurries up and grabs this little package from the guard. They whisper, "That's the last thing. I won't stick my neck out further for you. This is out of respect for your duty, what you've contributed. This never happened." She steps up and walks away. She grabs it and scurries back into her corner, also swiftly grabbing her contraband, and unfurls the little rag, stiff and dirty, and then sees in it just the faintest, the tiniest little bent and twisted copper wire. And we return out to the rest of Hyben, where the sun is starting to set, but our friends are on a happy voyage to go see a beautiful ship. So, Saskia, you're leading your old friends and your new friends back to your ship.
Yeah. And as we're walking, I'm just like very excitedly just talking about every feature that I possibly can. It's like, yeah, so the fuck, I forget the name of the thing at the front of the ship. The
bow?
The
Figurehead?
Thank you, the figurehead. Thank you, Fyrn. And I know it's the fucking bow, Septimus. No, the figurehead. It's like this, and please correct me if Shannon is wrong, but it's like this, it's like a lion, and it's really fierce. And it's just so, it's just so majestic, and I just can't stop looking at the ship. You know, I have a fucking ship. Come on, we're almost there.
And you round the corner towards the harbor side and down into the docks themselves. There's obviously the muted sunset, but despite the nearly ending eclipse, there's still this beautiful band of gold and orange lingering with the indigo of dusk. Little lanterns being lit across the docks. She rushes down, and then you see it. Beautiful vessel. Sleek, designed, looks like it's designed to be fast, and an interceptor with the glorious Leonin figurehead she described. And a turtle waiting for her.
Yeah, imagine it ties watching some of the leftover skeleton crew take some crates off of the ship that he was planning, on making a little bit of a profit from the travels of whatever, materials were left over that, seem to be in demand. And he's just taking notes, hasn't really noticed that everybody is on the dock yet, is kind of buried in his work.
And seeing Ty overseeing everything, I will call out, well, tell the group, I was like, there's my first mate. And then I will say, Ty, I brought some friends.
Oh, Captain, nice to see you again. Who are these folk?
I'll never get used. I will never get tired of hearing that. Well, so these are the friends that I was talking about back in Gwenvalier. This is Fyrn, gesturing to Fyrn. This is Jacquette, and this is Septimus.
Greetings, everybody. I've heard a lot about you, and I hope you take care of our captain well.
Well, it seems that you and your associates have done quite a good job keeping her safe. Not so much ourselves of late. It's nice to meet you.
Real quick, what's the name of Tygon's father's merchant group?
The TTC.
The
Transportation
Turtle
Ticket
Trading
Center?
Company.
Yeah, it actually is the Turtle Trading Company.
Wasn't
No.
no, it was like Typhoon
The-
Trading Company.
No, yeah, Typhon is the name of his father.
Typhon.
I think that the T stands for the island, though. What was the island's name, Sean?
Tortuga.
Tortuga.
I wish. Tamron? No, that's something else.
No, that's just
Tasaka.
Horus.
That's
Tasaka. Was it Tasaka?
No, it wouldn't have been
you,
Probably
Tasaka.
not.
you messaged. Hold on, you messaged me last week.
Because Tasaka was destroyed.
Oh, wait, no.
Well, while we figure this out, Jacques
It's
goes,
the TTC.
wait a minute. Tygon, a sea turtle, ships. You wouldn't happen to be involved with the TTC, would you?
Very. That's my father's company.
Ah, interesting.
Do you know it, Jacques?
The way you say
Obviously
that
not.
makes
Just
me
ask- you
sound
just ask
like
this.
you're gonna like have some sort of evil plan.
No, I just, it's...
Likely.
An honor is a bit of a stretch, but I've heard about the work you've been doing around, not Nephrodala,
Naj.
Najmadala. You've really put my brother through a bit of a loop with some of your shipping lanes and runs.
Well, it's just good business. What can I say? I mean, we try our best to make a living for our people and, build our company. And unfortunately, sometimes that means taking business away from other people. But, we're honest tradesmen. If he could have done better, he should have had better pricing.
I couldn't agree more, my friend. Jacques Touchard, he says, putting out his hand.
Hesitantly, Tygon reaches up and gives him a flipper.
As
Shakes
they're
your hand.
as they're
Firm
shaking
handshake.
hands.
Firm flip shake.
Fur to flip. paw to flip.
I will say to the group, Ty is a very accomplished navigator, and he is so incredibly organized. And honestly, I don't know that I would have gotten here without him.
Oh, you honor me too much. I do love navigating. It is my passion, but Saskia embellishes. I'm not that special.
He's special.
So, what brings you here? Do we have a new heading, or what's our next course?
Well, no new heading.
Course?
I'm planning on staying here for a little while. I just wanted to show my friends the incredible gift that you bestowed upon me.
Oh, of course. How rude of me. I should have started with this. Let me give you the full tour.
And he just basically starts walking up the gangplank and just showing off all of the different inlays on the side of the ship and all the structural details, getting really in depth with it, using jargon that you might not understand.
This is quite some gesture, Tygon.
Well, Saskia has a certain, we might not have known each other for very long, but she means a lot to the TTC and me as well. So, this was the least we could do.
What in the hells did you get up to over there that you have an entire trade company willing to spend thousands of gold on you?
Well, first of all, I'm awesome. Second of all, I told you I killed my patron, and they were with me, and it was a fucking fight. I guess I
Got to be
protected.
something more to that, though. I mean, Tagon,
Why does it
his
have to
patron?
be? Why does it have to be more? Why can't it just be that I have a ship and it was a gift because I protected them?
Right. I can understand if like Tagon gave you a gift, but this is from his whole company. And I assume from what you told us, the whole trading company wasn't with you
No.
taking on your patron.
Was your patron harassing the shipping lines or something? That was the gesture?
No, she pulled us all into her lair, which I'm just realizing now I think was encased in the little pearl. And that I wore. So
How could
During this
Tiny
conversation, Tygon's
feet.
like visibly like he looks nervous, like he wants to say something, but he's not. He's keeping his mouth shut.
it's just, I was sort of a leader, and it's just, I don't know.
Sorry, it's just from what you've described to us and what you did, which I am not trying to diminish. Very cool that you took down your previous patron. Kudos. However, that, in my mind, as a person with experience of things, does not equal this, he says, gesturing to the ship.
Well, I know you're. All that will be my feelings are hurt, Jacquet, but it's fine. Ty, why don't you explain? Because apparently, I can't.
Ty looks at her and says, I'd be delighted. Well, although the TTC is a very, a merchant company first, our roots stem from actually religious background. We turtles are very fond of the traveler as our god, and we our specific subsect is focused on the stars themselves and how they control the how they can predict the future. And okay, I got it. There's a prophecy, and if I'm supposed to follow what I believe is that if I follow Saskia around, I will discover the true identity of a creature known as the Saronak. If I see it someday, it's supposed to destroy me. And I mean, I've invested lots of time and money to find the person that's fated in the prophecy that will protect me from the Saronak, and I think that's Saskia.
Jacques starts doing a slow clap. I don't know how you've done it, Saskia. I never thought I'd see the day. You have your own cult. How did you do it? Is this something Ro did?
It's
Implanted
not
it
a
in
cult,
their brain?
Jacquet. No, it's not a cult.
Sounds like it's a cult. They have a prophecy about you saving them, and then they give you really nice things. That's a cult. Color it any way you wish.
I would say a cult kind of implies that there's more than one. It's kind of just me and my dad.
Also, it's not like I'm not asking them to do weird shit.
Not all cults do that. I mean, look at Septimus and his Machina cult. The people just show up and give him...
Excuse me. Right.
Yeah,
Let's not just go throwing around words like that.
Yeah,
I hate to agree with this theory, but you have thrown me into some pretty weird shit lately, Saskia.
Not on purpose. Cult
True.
leaders do it on purpose. Also, Jacquet, your following that you gather at your fucking tavern, we can call that a cult as well, if we're just going to toss the word around.
Sure. There is nothing negative about having a cult. It is
Really? 'Cause
simply
that's not
a name. You might have negative associations with the word. And quite frankly, I think that's a little beneath you being a warlock. It's supposed to be your shtick.
Well, regardless of what has transpired across the sea, I'm glad to have you all here. We're going to need all the help we can get for what's to come.
Yeah,
I
so
can assure you that Saskia is an extension to us also. We'll definitely try to keep you safe.
yes.
Well, thanks a lot for that. I'm not much of a fighter, so I'd appreciate as much help as you can give me in that front. Hopefully, we won't be getting into too much trouble.
Like I said, every adventuring party needs someone in the background. I mean that in the nicest way possible. As you pull the face.
Okay. Yeah,
Excellent.
background works for me.
I'm gonna say sidelines, but that seemed even more insulting.
I don't know. The sideline seems a little better than the background. The background could be like, the corner of the
All right, great.
auditorium.
Then you're on the sidelines. Great. Just you don't have to fight.
You could call me Waterboy.
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, Saskia's ship.
When you went by the captain's quarters, it's a fucking mess.
Yeah, she made no shortage of time to get comfortable.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's getting late in the evening. The sun is about to set completely. Is there anything particular you want to do this evening before you bed down for the next day?
If anyone else has something, Jacques has a council to convene with the party.
Okay.
Is there any other things people want to do before Jacquet's council?
How late would Winifred's office be open? Would it be closed by now? Do I have to wait till tomorrow?
You'd need to wait till tomorrow. It's closing.
Okay.
They usually
Okay.
close at sunset. I will remind you, Jacques has offered to forge you papers as well.
That's right. All right. I'll think about it.
You'd rather avoid the awkward encounter.
Mm.
But you can think about it overnight. But Jacques, do you want to convene this council at the lighthouse fort?
Yeah, I think so. And I think we've already told Sass about the hollow spell that Septimus put up, but that we're all staying there for the safety of numbers, in case there's any other attacks.
Right. Okay. I leave the ship in your command while I'm at the fortress.
Okay. Can I see the fort from here?
Yeah, actually, I'd say you could see the fort from here. It's small and in the distance, but you know where it is.
That's good enough. How do I get in touch with you if, something happens or I need to? Would I just send somebody?
Wow,
or...
he's really needy, huh?
Ignoring Jacquet. Yeah, if you're able to send somebody, or if you have any magical means of communication, or if you have can you do any sort of like flare in the sky magic?
I think Ty has message actually. I think he just forgot.
You would definitely be too far away from message if she's in the fort.
I think Clara has light, which isn't perfect, but she could like cast light on the end of one of the boys' arrows, and they can shoot it up into the air.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, let's do
I gotta
that.
have thaumaturgy maybe.
I don't know how distance that is though.
Light, you would definitely be able
it's
to
just not
from
message.
like the highest point of the walls of the fort, you would be able to see a light arrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I meant for thaumaturgy. But yeah, light that works. Yeah, just light it up if you need me.
Line it up.
If worst comes to worst, I'm pretty fast. I could just beeline it and just let them know that there's a problem.
Perfect. That works too. Either one.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Saskia.
They all say in uniform. Unison.
In
Uniform.
in unison. In uniform.
It works.
We got uniforms.
Yep.
That was the first thing Tygon did.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone has to wear a little swatch of Sass's quilt.
Yeah.
All right, so the primary party heads back to the fort while the
The A team, if you
the
will.
A team heads back to the A team heads back to the fort while the B team settles down in the ship for the night. And you can go to the Great Hall of the fort to convene your council.
What
So,
seems to be on your mind, Jaquette?
well, I just wanted to make sure it's only been a day or two, but it really feels like months since we last discussed our next steps here in Hyven. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone was on the same page and that we caught Saskia up explicitly in our plans.
Yes, please.
I thought you said
So-
cut Saskia up. I was like, holy shit.
Nope. Not that. So, as I explained, Grieves has tried to push this election up sooner than we or the Commodore's office would like. I forget what that day that he said was. However, ever the annoying bastards that we are, Iron and Mana decided to hold our own sort of election a few days before his. So, in my last editorial to the Hyven Times, I stated that we, Iron and Mana, here at the Lighthouse Fort, would hold a how did I describe it?
A meeting of the minds.
No, I mean, in a way, yes, but that's not what. Basically, all the districts would elect an official to meet and discuss the future of Hyven. Oh, that's right. His election was on the 19th, so we said we should have these officials convene on the 18th in 3 days' time at 9 in the morning. So less than 3 days, really. And the idea is that Iron and Mana, with these council members, would discuss the best course forward. Our thought was that maybe we still hold the election, but we make sure that it goes through some system other than the one Grieves controls, because that will be what he does. My understanding is that he will just have his goons go around, his gang goons go around town, collecting ballots from whoever. Who knows if a person gives 1 or 10? And then they'll count it, and of course, no matter what, Grieves will be the winner. So if we can set up some kind of system, a democratic ballot system, I'm thinking maybe we could ensure a more just future. In this way, it shows that Iron and Mana is on the side of Hyven, not in it for our own sake.
And just to refresh my memory, this election is for the control of Hyven?
Yes. Originally, it seemed like, originally Grieves was gunning for the Commodore's position, but now he seems to have thrown that out and just wants control of Hyven. Why he wants Hyven so badly, I feel like it must be more than just power. There must be something here. There must be something grander that we're not privy to, where he wants the city.
So let's say you win the election. What then?
Then,
Septimus, for the love of God, can you chew with your mouth closed?
It's that mechanical jaw. Ever since he got it replaced, it's so much louder. Thank you for saying something, by the way.
He's getting used to it. He eats his fried chips.
Yeah.
So, that is also a good question, Saskia. And I think it would be more business as usual.
All right.
Our goal here is to stop whatever Grieves is doing and to keep Hyven calm. Keep it safe, keep it stable, so that whatever the fuck is coming, whether that's Lacuna, whether that's, you know, demons, whether that's whatever fucking shit is going on that Bruce and Septimus are concerned about and Sigil is concerned about, we can have a safe place to rally ourselves and our people and prepare for whatever the fuck is coming.
Fair enough. I think we also need to prepare for the wrath of Mr. Grieves if he loses.
Right. Well, I think the hope is that before he even gives his or releases his wrath, we'll be in position to take him out.
Right.
But I have a system of spies in the city now that have been working to try to find out more information about his syndicate, and we really haven't found a lot. We know that his public number 2, the one that is in its essence taken over the syndicate while Grieves has gone legit, Orkwood, operates out of the Otter business. But who she is exactly, how to get to her, we don't have that information.
Right.
And
Right.
I
So
fear...
that's on the to-do list?
Yes. You know, I fear that kicking in the door and delivering Fyrn style of justice, while quick and it will lead to results, good results probably, I fear it might set us back with the people of Hyven.
I see. So we're trying to
I don't.
balance things.
I don't.
Yes.
I mean, fair that you say such things, but I'm not sure it will really have any effect on the people of Hyven. I mean, Mr. Grieves tried to kill all of us, and his standing hasn't changed.
But no one knows he tried to kill all of us.
I mean, everybody
We
saw. Who says that, we can't do the same? We could try and kill Mr. Grieves, and as long as they can't prove it.
But we don't know who he is.
Right, we don't know who he is, where he is, how to get to him.
So
But we know where this Orkwood person is.
So what if we come up with some sort of plan to what's the word I'm looking for? It's not the word, but to meet with Orkwood at the Otter business under the pretense of reinstating Fight Night, of saying it's a great unifier of the people, all that bullshit.
I don't think there's anything to be gained from parlaying with
That's the
Orkwood.
fucking word. I should know that. Parlay. Thank you,
Yeah,
Septimus.
to be honest, we tried to parlay with the Aradunai a little bit earlier,
Well,
and
the
we really didn't get
Aradunai
anywhere.
are not
Fjord's
our main
still in a cell.
adversary.
Right, and I feel like any direct confrontation with Grieves and the Syndicate will look poorly on us for his voter base, because he can just show that we are enacting our own vigilante justice, or the Commodores or the governors. He can put any label he wants on it, and he will rile up his crowd more.
Jaquette's right.
So,
It's like one-on-one fight, we probably beat Mr. Grieves. But the problem is that he's acting in the shadows. His power comes from the will of the people. if we could try to fracture that loyalty that the public seems to have for him, that's how we tackle him.
I understand. So breaking it down a little bit so that it's breaking the foundations so that it's easier to take it down.
We need to get better options because we can't force these people to change their minds.
Right.
We need to show, give them an option of what Hybrid can be, as opposed to a radical revolutionary.
Right. And to recap, the big players in the game here are, of course, us, Iron and Mana. We are aligned with, but not agents of the Commodore.
Right.
We don't really hold any ground here. We don't have any one area that is staunchly in our corner. But I think our reach has spread far over the city, and we have friends everywhere that would help us if we need it. Of course, Grieves and his syndicate, operating out of the Widow's Ward, also holds the docks, the harbor. Something that Emile Ducant from the governor's office did ask us to get control back of. A thing to think about. I don't know if there's anything we can do quickly within the next few days, or if that's something that we'll have to return to. There is...
But your immediate suggestion of rallying the different districts and leaders, how would we go about doing that? How do we get the word out?
So, my editorial's already gone out. The people have seen it. And I think it's best that we leave that in their hands. The districts will come together. They have their... I'm going to use the phrase aldermen. I don't know if that's actually what they would be called. But there are people for every district that have to engage with the Commodore's office. Taxes need to be collected. Streets need to be fixed. These infrastructure might actually be the reason why we can succeed here. Or at least spread the word.
Yeah, just to give you kind of like a quick 101 in the politics of the lower city. You're correct, Jacquette, that there would be de facto leaders, people who it's, whether it's a faction thing or it's just simply that guy kind of just talks to the Commodore's office for us because he's the one who we trust. And if something's wrong, I go to him and he talks to them, and it's kind of a organic process. You'd almost expect a lot of these districts to just elect that person, even if they it's where it's giving a formal structure to an informal leadership structure that currently exists in Hyven, because the Admiralty Court controls what would be considered the city's purse, as far as what you would in a more developed city would consider the public funds that come from those taxes. Which also might even be one of Mr. Greaves's points is we pay these taxes and where does it go? The Widow's Ward's been destroyed for a year now. There's been zero construction. There's been zero investment in fixing the Lighthouse District. The roads in Northern Hyven are.
What am I, chopped liver? I've been working for months to help these people.
Yeah. Other than private development. So it's definitely they would have these people that they view as their guardians or their aldermen is a very good term for it, aldermen.
Could I say that I would Fyrn would have some knowledge about those people from working with the merchants during downtime?
Yeah, I would say you may not have worked specifically with these people, but you would have, and honestly, most of you would have heard these names in passing. A lot of these names are unnamed NPCs that I will need to create for this. There's some that are obvious, who just seems like a dominant personality in those areas as you've been interacting with, but some of these will, for lack of a better way to put it, are not available. They are locked behind a paywall right now until the next session.
Pay you $100 right now.
$100 and I'll make you guys an NPC that's that's pro iron and mana. If you don't pay me, they're all pro. Yeah.
Chat, donate below.
I've
Right?
trained
All of a
them,
sudden.
Thanks for the
Yeah.
bits. Thanks for the bits.
And all the good works you've done have certainly been acknowledged by the public, and I've been trying to do that as well. But the problem is, as much as we can contribute, charity's not going to be the one thing that saves the city. Obviously, it builds our reputation showing that we're trying to help it, but it is a systematic error. And this is kind of a thing, I was thinking of might be a wild idea, but I'm trying to think of a way we can show Hyven that we're no longer biased, that we truly want to show the people that we're willing to serve justice for all those that are wrong. So what if perhaps there was perhaps a fall guy up in the Admiralty Court? We could perhaps either find out they've been doing some illicit things, or possibly even frame them.
You see Jacques, the shadows go over his face, and a wicked grin goes up in his eyes. Shing! Very
Now it comes
Pepsi
to
style.
mind, and I have no factual basis, but I do know obviously of one shady character
Aye.
that I'm sure does not have good public opinion.
Emil did say that he would be willing to give us that note that Winifred had given us of connections between the Academy and one Mr. What's his first name?
Renning.
Renning Grieves.
Now, like I said, this is a pretty wild idea, but I think if we show that we're trying to uncover some of the corruption that the public believes that the city has, it'll at least perhaps delay the push for a quick election.
Well, and in the same vein, what if we, if we were visible out in the community doing some of the things that the people expect, like fixing the roads, or I don't know if I want to collect taxes, but you get what I mean, doing some sort of...
No one wants to see us collecting taxes.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, doing some sort
Fyrn
of things.
has been doing that, and Septimus has been doing that. Less so me. But I've been raising the spirits in the tavern, so hard
Right.
work still.
Well, you're also writing, and you're putting it all in the Times, yeah?
Oh yeah, making so much money for the Times.
I think now is the time to take action, just not against Grieves.
Right.
So there's two factions I think that we can use here. And Septimus, I really like your idea, and we can definitely circle back to that. The Alumno Defiance. We bested them at the lighthouse, and Septimus has shown them the power of Machina. While we had disagreements with Hastings has had dealings with Grieves and may be able to give us more information than we've had yet. I think that we're in a rare opportunity where we're in their general good graces, and we can use that paladin that you had been working with, whatever his name was.
Cade.
And get a meeting and discuss with Hastings and potentially get them on our side. Maybe not as a full-fledged ally, but someone to get information from. And then
Hastings
there's...
isn't the person Fyrn killed?
Yep.
Was I around? I honestly don't remember. Was I around when he came back?
I don't know.
You were not when they learned that Hastings was leading the Alumni Defiance again, because you had left before they seized the lighthouse, and they learned that Hastings was an operative again when they took the lighthouse. So this is new to you.
That's
Yeah,
what
you were like, you would be like Hastings is a fucking alive?
Yeah. Wait. Whoa. What the fuck? Fyrn chopped off his head. He's alive?
Well,
Yeah.
Well, and you're
I mean, several of us have died. It's quite possible to
Yeah, but none of
resurrect someone.
Great
None of-
rebuttal.
Especially with powerful connection.
none of you have had your head cleaved from your shoulders.
I don't know if that's something. Actually, I take that back. That is something I could do now. Something I recently have in my studies been able to do. A severed piece can be reattached and the soul brought back into the body.
Okay, we'll get to that later. But he's alive?
Yes, and it seems that our confrontation has steeled his resolve to bring his lost brothers back home. His goal does not lie here in Alfdal, but rather back in Halcyon. And
But he
if we can
doesn't-
show him,
Go ahead and finish.
I was gonna say, if we can show him that all we want to do is make Hyven safe for us and send them on their way and not trouble them anymore, I think we can come to some kind of agreement.
I'm all for that, but he doesn't hate us for what we did?
I don't know.
Oh, you're
I
saying that
literally
we
have
would need
no idea. I
Yeah.
haven't spoken to him.
We have
The only person who would have any kind of knowledge of that would be Septimus, where it's not Septimus. You wouldn't think, based on your interactions with Cade, it wouldn't be that like Hastings loves you guys, but at the completion of your resurrection of those you killed, Cade essentially made it clear to you that like Iron and Mana and Hastings are square. They're
Right.
even. Like they don't necessarily love each other, but there's no vengeance is not on the table anymore. And Cade expressed a lot of interest in your new religion
Yes, yes.
and the power it could possess for a revolutionary.
Are we? I mean, I agree that we need more manpower, and the Alumno Defiance is definitely a choice that we can use for that. But I mean, we've already been betrayed by this Hastings once. What says?
We have?
He's never betrayed you guys. Well, he betrayed Fyrn and Sass, not you guys. He left them behind.
Right.
right,
Listen,
so
it was just business,
we
and it
have-
seems that we've come to equal terms on our opposing interests at the time. As of
And
now,
again,
I think we are neutral with each other.
using him for information will get us closer to taking down Grieves. If that's all we do in our discussions, then I'd say that's a win for Iron and Mana.
All right.
I could try to reach
The-
out and see if I
But-
can have an audience. Cade would be
Isn't-
willing to hear me out on that front. But I'm trying to think of something we can offer, so much as a trade for information. I'm sure he won't be giving it out freely.
They need coin, right? They need to get out of Dodge. Dodge being a small town in outside of Domu Zerum, where everyone ends up, but no one wants to be there. So they got to get out of Dodge. And what's a couple thousand silvers to purchase some ships and passage and get them all out of here? If they want coin, we've got it.
All right.
Septimus, also remember that there is a kinship connection between you and them, as the last thing Cade said to you is there's always room within the Alumno Defiance for a son
Yeah.
of Kirinor, of Alumno.
I do remember that too, but I felt like that is just a ability to reach out as opposed
No,
to
totally.
joining the ranks.
Just a quick reminder.
But this is all well and good, but I'd like to bring up the Fiora as well. Do we still have plans to save her?
It's definitely on our long list.
Do we know where she's being kept again?
Beneath the red dandelion.
I wasn't sure. if that
Bar
was-
in Piscator's
that was
Row.
group known or not just vignette. known.
Bruce told you guys
Yeah,
that
Bruce
because
told
he
you.
cast Ascending
Right.
to her, and she said she believes
Yes.
she's below the red dandelion.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Okay.
Hence, perhaps why she's trying to smuggle in a copper wire.
To message someone that's not even on this plane of existence anymore.
Yeah, well, that's going to be part of it where she's like, fuck, I have to message one of the other guys? They suck.
How many days? What day is it today again?
It is the 15th of the Shining Shadow.
Oh,
Yes,
boy.
you have less than 3 days to accomplish what you need to. Now, granted, Jacquette's op-ed went out a couple days ago, so it's the districts have. It's been a buzz in the districts for, you know, it's something I neglected to mention probably in your like wanderings, Jacquette, is like I said they were talking about your op-ed, but you absolutely would have heard like those kind of individual conversations to be like, oh, are we going to do it? If you talk to insert NPC Sean hasn't created yet here, I think I have my vote. Oh, no, I think I should do it. You know, I've been around here since I was a lad. And other people are like, you think you can lead Piscator's Row? How are we going to keep the Aradunai from taking up the spot? And other people being like, oh, is the Widow's Ward going to get? He said the Widow's Ward, so okay. He's like, I think Mr. Grieves, he's a fine fella. I saw him speak once out in front of the old docks, and I love his mustache. Power of optics. I would say just for like flavor, but also your knowledge, Sass. Someone in the party tosses you a newspaper where you can read the op-eds that I'm talking about, and I'm just gonna really quickly
have them all framed.
I'm just gonna really quickly read Grieves' op-ed because I think that's the more important one for you to hear because you kind of got the gist of Jacquette's.
Okay.
So you open up the paper, you see a few articles about, you know, rumors and gossip in Hyven, someone talking about how Autobahn cuts his iron and deals with bad copper. The title, it's the front page. It doesn't have like a picture of Mr. Grieves. It just sort of has this like, the art for it is almost like and this is something I didn't mention before because I just came up with it right now. The art for it's more like old-fashioned propaganda comics that were in things where there's like a big old like fist coming down and like punching Hyven, a little mock of Hyven that's just like on the fist is written like the governor, the Sodality, Commodore Umadori, you know, like trying to emphasize this like oppression or this oppressive extractive force of Aldhalor and how Hyven should be on its own. And there's like a little guy holding up the fist, and that's meant to be Grieves. But I'll read it really quickly. What does democracy mean? Is it a far-off ideology formed by Gwyn merchants and prescribed to their people? Is it the collective of a ship's crew? Who decided? I say it is a battle decided by the hearts of the people. But why should we wait for ineffectual, false, and absent rulers? Hyven deserves to be led by Hyven, not some esoteric and vague code of some governor, not some whim of the aristocrat and her patsies in Asia City. No, the people of Hyven. They deny you this. Hyven needs strength to demand its place at the table and for its destiny. As a humble merchant, I do not wish to take up this revolutionary position, but history demands strength, and I will make Hyven strong as the most important port in all of Aldhalor, a sanctuary for the free and as a beacon for democracy. Umadori fears this, and the governor's lackeys in the Admiralty Court wish to delay your right as part of this crew. They would inform you that the governor's office has been delaying the election, pushing it back because Umadori is not in the city and they don't think they should have the election until she returns. They want to push it into the new year. Grieves wants it to happen before the new year comes. The new year is the start of the next month is the new year, the end of the long dark. Hyven needs... I already read that. So what does a man of destiny do against such tyranny? We take our future into our own hands. Shall we wait for the dogs of the governor to tell us when we seize the future? No, we take it now and do what must be done. Therefore, I am prepared to hold our own election. Just Hyven, just its people. On Nenua, the 19th of the Shining Shadow, collection of votes will begin throughout Hyven, except the Admiralty Court. Let your voices be heard. Let our future start then. On the ballot, myself and Commodore Umadori. And a referendum on Hyven's future. A cog in the governor's machinations or something new, something strong, a free city-state. It is up to you, Hyven. I respect the will of our crew.
Well, he gives you a run for your money, Jacques, as a wordsmith. Fuck.
I don't know. There's a few things in there that maybe, you could have spent a little more time on, but, it's whatever.
And Jacques like, read mine! Read mine!
I will say I don't approve of his methods, but I think he has a point in saying that, somebody needs to step up and speak for the people of Hyven. And it would be a little concerning if we were to plan a meeting of the people of Hyven to choose, who will lead them, and not have any viable candidates besides Mr. Grieves on the docket. He mentions, the Admiralty Court, but we know that they have a much worse reputation than even we do. So, I mean, Saskia's been pushing around this idea that you would join the running, Jaquette. I know you said that you wanted them to decide for you, but there has to be a point in which you have to start campaigning for yourself, right?
You're not wrong, and it was Bruce that was really pushing for that. Bless his little heart. Where is Bruce?
I think he's still researching in the academy. He's been very focused on his work recently.
I think during this council meeting, it can be laid out that I will go against Grieves, maybe as the representative from the Lighthouse District. After all, we deserve representation too. I don't know how many homeowners are here, but my home and your home rest in this district.
For just to give some context there, over the last few months as the developments have been happening, Koboko is having trouble finding people to either purchase or rent the new constructions just because of the reputation of the district. People have started to live here. There are also the squatters that live here that they live here. They probably, of all the people in Hyven, would have some of the most interest in there being little to no law and order. So they're it's almost like when you're going to an authority is going to an area and the people in that area don't want to talk to them because of what could come of it. So you'd be hard pressed. You'd need to inspire those people to come out and share their voices, because in their minds it's I don't want to deal with people who might kick me out of my home.
Right. So if they're not going to say anything, Jacquette's de facto representative. Look, at the end of the day, he's not the best guy.
No, it's true. I think that we've I love what I'm saying is I'm encouraging you to continue with your sleaze.
Cool.
But just to give you like context, it's not just like an empty district.
Right. No, yeah, I know. And
But
we
also,
have
like, even
our-
the people who do purchase it would be like, well, I don't really know if they really are here to protect us, but there is a fortress here. And Fyrn has been doing things to keep us safe. So, like, the people who are, like, legitimately own the deed to their building or are renting from Koboko would have a reason to believe Iron and Mana is a good thing. They wouldn't own their home or they wouldn't have a place to live in the Lighthouse District without you.
Yeah.
Should we reach out to the Aradunai if we're not going to say Fiora Bendega right away? Should we reach out to the Aradunai and see if they want to join in this conversation that we'll be having, or the AEC?
The
Other
Aradunai
factors?
have made it very clear that unless we are all in on their extermination of those that poison Mother Aradun, they don't want to work with us. So no, I don't think we should talk to them.
No.
As for the AEC, they are a corporation that exists within Hyven. They do not live here. They do not get a vote, as they are bleeding the people dry. They are a problem for another day.
I understand that they're a problem, but you can't deny that they do hold significant power in the city.
Right, of the Electrum utility, but nothing past that. And yes, they are a force, but not a force I want to have a voice in the future of Hyven. So I don't think giving them room now makes sense if we're only going to push them out later.
To be fair, they're probably part of the reason why there's so much distrust with the leadership of the city.
Exactly.
And I assume we will bring some people from the Admiralty Court as well to the meeting.
Every district will be allowed to have a representative. And hell, if one of those districts decides to elect the Aradunai or the AEC, will respect that choice.
Fine. So, what do you suggest should be our priority before we have this meeting?
I think what Septimus said should be priority number 1, to get some dirt out on Catamus and the other people that have been working with Grieves in the shadows. Priority 2, talking with Hastings and the Defiance, getting information on Grieves. Priority 3
Go ahead, finish.
is figure out something with Fiora, because by the Everflame I feel bad.
But think of also, there's got to be a reason besides her failure that they're keeping her locked up.
Maybe
Maybe
But-
she has something on them that they haven't
don't-
murdered her yet.
Maybe, but our limited interaction with that one Ascendant does not give me confidence in the logical rationale behind many of their decisions.
We shouldn't sit here and speculate on the reasons why. We should decide whether or not she'd be an aid to us if we try to free her.
Agreed. And I think Fiora will work with us, if only for the good of Hyven, which has always been her paramount issue.
Tomorrow I prioritize meeting with Cade, to see if he would be able to sell some information that would help us to learning Greaves' identities. I would suggest you send some of your goons to dig up dirt, and the rest of you could maybe scout the Red Lion to see ways we can infiltrate
Dandelion.
the red dandelion.
He made new Machina ears. He's not hearing everything perfectly.
No, actually, excuse me, it's my stupid human ears.
Yeah, fair.
Mm.
I'll respect your religion. Excellent. Yeah, and then just general sort of a reminder, although I think you guys know this, is your experiences with the Arduni have been fractured in the sense of the different members of the Arduni you've met with have had vastly different values.
Right.
They all agree in the reverence of the elements and the not necessarily deindustrialization, but the responsible industrialization, with the ascendancy being the most extreme, with the more exterminationist and totality of elemental supremacy, ultimately, and apocalyptic, truthfully, in a lot of ways, beliefs. So, you could even easily assume, not necessarily that you would know this is true, that Fura represents a thorn in their sides, as someone who's more the people, and we should do things that benefit the people with the respect to the elements, versus it being no, fuck the people, the elements, that's what's up. But yes, you can engage in these priorities in various different ways. But I think before we move to the next scene or continue this, I will take a short break.
It's the nighttime, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Long rest?
Before we
Soon.
long rest, there's 2 things I want to do.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Never mind.
Yeah,
then.
I have
We'll go
one
after
thing
the
I want to
break.
do too.
Okay. So what we'll
Yeah,
do is when we
good.
come back, we'll finish out anything people want to do in the evening, long rest, and get into the next day's activities.
That's good.
We'll be
Great.
back shortly. Whoop. Oh, I thought you said wait. But all right, be back soon. Welcome back to Adrift in Aldhalor. Our heroes are contemplating their next move in the city of Hyven, starting to take some action steps leading up to the the two elections. Their own delegation election and then the actual election. But before we get to future schemes, is there anything else you'd all like to do this evening? I know Sass and Septimus have something. Who would like to go first?
You can go first, Seppi.
First, while we're kind of just chilling at the fort for the evening, Seppi will take out a little copper wire of his own, and he'll cast sending.
Excellent. Who are you sending to?
To Cade.
Cade. Okay.
It's quick.
Just
25 words.
25, yep, okay. Evening Cade. If you are around tomorrow, I would like to meet up. Wish to talk about Mr. Grieves. Can make it worth your while.
Nice. You'd get a response. Septimus. Yes. My captain has been speaking with me about visiting you again to inquire about your faith and the power it can yield for our destiny. Yes. Where and when?
So I think it's pretty early. But he'll say, my temple, 10 in the morning.
I will see you then, brother.
Oh, they're brothers.
Okay, so that's the one thing you want to do.
Mhm.
The second thing is how many active temples are in the temple district?
There are. It's just looking at
5.
this, actually.
I don't know if that's true, but that's my gut says 5.
You're actually correct, because the elemental temple is no longer active.
Yep.
There's your temple, of course, which I wasn't counting in that count.
Yeah.
There's the Revelry. There's the Sept of the Moon for Ilyavania. There's the Church of the Everflame for Zendario. There's the Noldori Collective for Noldagra. And then there's the Those Beyond, Those Before temple, which is dedicated to dead gods and forgotten religions. And then the Kiln of the Kindred Mother, which is no longer, and your own temple.
Septimus, so 5 different ones besides my own.
Mm-hmm.
Septimus would go on 5 different pieces of parchment. Write the same message. I'm sure you are aware of the proposition that Jacques Touchard of our Iron and
Who?
has been... Jacques Touchard?
Oh, I thought you said like jacket.
No, I
he
said
said
Jacques.
Jacques.
Sorry, my human ears, you know.
Yeah, I'll fix those up for you. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
Jacques Touchard, Jesus, got me all messed up now, of our Iron and Meta has bestowed upon the city for each district to elect a representative. I am aware that my presence has become a fast-growing one. However, if this is something that you'd be willing to discuss, I wish to hear all of your inputs, since we are one district. If it's something that appeases you to discuss further of who wants to run for all of us, I'd be willing to hear and discuss. Please meet at my temple tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Let me just put that on my schedule.
Yeah, like Hal is just like sitting next to you, like, and what time, sir, shall I put this into your schedule?
I should just make it 1.
1, okay.
Um,
Post lunch council.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't want to do. You don't want to schedule a meeting for lunch.
No. We don't. No one wants
wants
a. No one
lunch.
wants a work. That's literally what I was gonna say.
Yeah. And he'll go into the temple district, possibly later in the night, and he will slip it under the front door of each of the establishments.
Absolutely. Okay. Anything else, Septimus, before we shift over to Sass? Saskia.
I would like to test my abilities inside the fortress to see if they actually work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll keep it simple. I'm going to
Go out to the
first of all-
training courtyard. There's a training courtyard that would have like dummies and stuff.
Oh, very nice. My next question was going to be, do I have my own room? Did you guys set aside a room for me? Or do we all bunk together? What's the sitch?
Downstairs, there's some iron cages.
I will say Fyrn's setup is generally he does have a large bedroom that probably has enough to bunk, maybe 3 or 4 people in his like tower sectioned off area.
Mhm.
But most of the living conditions are like smaller, cot sort of scenarios for his like, workers and stuff like that. So you'd most likely be sleeping downstairs.
So this is Fyrn's fort. We don't stay here usually. We're only here because
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
we
I thought
got
it was
attacked by
Iron
a
and
shadow
Menace.
demon.
Yeah, normally
So
I
this is
see.
Fyrn's fort.
I
It's
see.
Jacquet's
Okay.
establishment.
Tavern. Yep.
Uh,
see.
yeah.
Everybody's got their own thing.
Right.
Got
It's
it,
your
got it,
pirate
got it.
ship.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. The west wing of the fort is basically like party hangout zone. But the east, you would probably be sleeping on the east side.
Okay.
it's barracks
And
living.
Is that is that where you guys have been staying? We've been staying.
Yeah,
That's
here?
where Jacquet has been.
Gotcha. All right.
All the meetings are taking place in the western
I
area.
see. Okay. All right. Thank you. That makes sense. So to the training courtyard I go. And I just want to start simple with a mage hand.
It works.
Oh, thank God.
yeah. Like it's a planar thing. It's not the hollow spell is not going to completely block Ro's gifts to you. It's just
Okay.
going to block his proxy from walking in here. So
Got it.
like you
Okay.
still have your warlock abilities.
Okay, cool. All right. And I say to myself, well, that's reassuring because I don't want that to happen again.
You hear shouted from the gates, "I felt that, Saskia. This isn't fair. I can still see you. My extra planar abilities stand. I just can't be there with you or feel it."
Well, can he hear me if I talk?
Yes, I can hear you if you talk. I can hear your thoughts.
All right. Well, then, I'm glad that this still, the abilities still apply. I'm so
I can
sorry
stop
that
it,
you
though.
Well, please don't. I was going to say next, if you'd like me to have a word with Septimus, see about getting you in here, I can. Or, if you're nervous about being out there all by yourself, I'll go sleep on the ship.
I'm not nervous, Saskia. I'm peeved.
I don't. You're throwing a little bit of a hissy fit.
Oh, whatever.
So which
I'm
is
gonna
it?
go get drunk.
Well, wait. Answer my question first. Do you want me to talk to Septimus or do you want me to sleep on the ship?
Saskia. It's a hollow spell. He can't do that. He can't do anything about it. And if he wants to maintain the protection against the shadow fiends.
So you want me to sleep on the ship?
No, have your evening alone. But maybe
You don't
later.
sound-
Maybe the next night.
Right. I was going to say,
Also,
you don't sound
I'm
happy about it.
cooking up my own proposition for your cleric.
Oh. Are you going to let me in on that? Do you need introductions? Because I don't think he really likes you. I don't think any of them really do, to be fair.
Oh,
I'm working on
it. Anyway, of course I have my own not yet. I'm still figuring it out, but I might be able to help with this protection scheme he has going on. I have my own influences on hellish entrances.
Okay. Right, well, go get drunk. And if you want me to go sleep on the ship, if you change your mind in the throes of the drink, let me know. I'll be up for a little while.
Or whatever, Saskia. I miss Gwenvalia. Oh, it is nice to be back here. Anyway, have a pleasant evening with your natural dreams.
You as well. Have a dance for me.
All right, anything else?
Nope, that was it.
Okay. You may all take your long rest, undisturbed by
Hey.
fiendish assassins.
Excellent.
Long rest.
The next morning comes. Septimus, you have a 10 o'clock appointment and a 1 o'clock appointment. But before we get to any of that, is there anything specific the rest of you would like to be doing in the morning?
I'd like to find Jacquette and tell him that I've decided I'd like him to forge my papers.
Okay. Jacquet will happily do that. He also would like to speak with Torcal, which might involve forging some papers. And then he will invite everyone, if they want, to come up to the Admiralty Court to meet with Emil and get that list of dirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Fyrn?
Yeah, Fyrn would also probably go through his regular day of training his people and then head to the Admiralty Court to meet with the guards there to train with them as well. So I just suppose somewhere around the same time he'd meet up with Jacquet.
Perfect. Before, Sass, anything in particular?
Something stupid, but in an effort to, be visible and welcoming in Hyven, those little sidewalk libraries that are like take a book, leave a book.
Yeah.
I want to make one, but it's take a shell, leave a shell.
Okay. I love it. We'll see if there's good traction on it. Saskia, roll me a d20 and claim high or low before you roll it.
High. 17.
Okay, so when you place it, there are some curious onlookers as you're creating this little bookcase thing, and some people are like, oh, what is she doing there? What's she doing there? And I imagine you just literally you build it and then you disappear for a second and you come back with an armful of shells.
100%.
And you put them in and they're they just make this face where they're just what? And someone comes up and is like, Miss, what's all this about?
So it's just I just thought of it this morning. It's like a little trading system, and I did make it portable because I want to put it on the ship and it comes with me and I put it out wherever we go.
Okay.
So it'll be anyway. It's just it's a little community builder. If you see a shell that you like and you take it with you, and the idea is that you would replace it as well, and just I don't know, add a little color to the day. I don't know. I just thought it would be nice.
There's like one of the other people behind me goes, "It's about whimsy, mate. Whimsy. She's creating whimsy."
That's it. That's
It's
the
like,
word. Yes.
whimsy? We don't need
whimsy.
whimsy. And then you see like a stranger walks by and goes, "Oh, look, a take a shell, leave a shell." And grabs one and
Like they've heard of it before.
takes a shell out of their pocket, tosses it in, whistles as they walk away.
I tip my hat. Thank you, kind friend.
And your critic goes up and opens it and takes a shell, and he goes, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna go get a shell, put in there, but I'm just taking one for now."
You better. I count them. So there was 12. There about to be 12 later.
There'll be 12. There'll be 12. There'll be 12. I got a shell. And the other person's like, "That's a shitty shell you picked, mate." It's chipped. Anyway, yes, you're able to set up a take a shell, leave a shell.
Excellent.
Before we jump to Septimus's appointments, Jacquette, in the morning as you're planning your day and maybe eating breakfast or something, there would be quickly the doors open up and walking in is Reardon.
Hey, my guy.
boss. You know that Dragonborn fella? Name escapes me. Kellen. He's snooping around the establishment.
When you say snooping, do you mean actively trying to not be seen? Or just showing up and not doing anything and then leaving?
Latter.
Okay. Like maybe he's looking for me?
Probably, yeah.
And no one went up to ask him if they could help him?
No.
Ah. All right, yeah, that's fair. I probably wouldn't have either. You know, if you.
I don't
if
know,
you got
man.
business-
I just thought, I wasn't sure. I didn't know. I don't know the guy that well. I know he's a snoop from what you've talked about.
Yeah, that's fair. He's got a. It's something about the
The snout.
Yeah. It's
Didn't want to say
Snoopy.
it. It is Snoopy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Snoopy Snout.
Snoopy snout. Yeah, boss. So I just figured I'd let you know in case you wanted to talk to him.
All right, I appreciate that, Reardon. Hey, really quick, by the way, something that I am just now thinking of that you've entered here. Remember in Billowgrass,
Yeah.
that orc, Dalen, the Shadowmancer?
Yeah.
Any information you can give to me right now that, like, you haven't given us before?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I wasn't really
Right.
in a position of power. He was a very scary man. Still the fear of the dark in all of us, and anytime he entered a room, you felt like he was gonna suck your soul out of your body, and then like if you were bad, then he would, and he didn't do the right thing, he would threaten you with these shadow monsters, and then he would also, real dark stuff. But I mean, he was the boss's contact with whoever his client was, with whatever we were doing there, the experimental stuff, and he would show up, maybe every other week to check in on how things were going, how the citizens were reacting to the materials, and kind of got us started too there, and he's asking a lot of questions about the condition of the citizens. Okay. The only thing I ever really heard that was any interest beyond that is like, I speaking of snooping, I was listening in one day because, in a bandit hideout, the walls are thin. that I don't know, there's something about the materials that they were working with was, this experiment they were doing on these citizens was, a gig. It was a gig for another client that wanted this material. It was some deal with his boss, but at the same time, the boss had ulterior motives about like the application of it in larger populations, the what kind of threats the infected citizens would demonstrate, their behavior. Was it erratic? Was it believable that it might be of their own volition versus being this infection or the addiction? Like, is it a way to, I don't know, disrupt? But there was some actual true client that Dalen's boss was working for to do this. Yeah, the rumor around camp was the Ardunai. Given their whole elemental bullshit, if you can infect every single citizen of the world with elemental magic to the point where they become mindless husks that do the bidding of the elements. But that was a conspiracy theory.
It could make sense, but given all the actors we've been meeting, sounds like a number of people could benefit from that ability. Anyways, I just wanted to check in about that. Thanks for the message about Kellen. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Spying.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. Who should I spy on right now?
I left instructions in that note to you and Oren.
Sorry, your handwriting sometimes is hard to read. It's all fancy.
The target is Grieves' syndicate.
That makes sense.
That's our focus.
That makes sense. I will get our people on it.
If you can find where Grieves is, if you hear any news about where those shadows came from, and if you can find Orkwood.
Any news, shadows, Orkwood.
I mean, we know Orkwood is in the Otter business, but maybe if you find out where she lives, or every Maris at 8 p.m. she goes down to the docks to throw flowers for her lost beloved or something. I don't know.
I think I could do that.
Nothing about
Thank
Cadmus.
you.
I rolled pretty well too. He gives you a nod.
Whoa. What was that, Septimus?
Nothing about Cadmus.
Oh, I'm gonna go to Emil and figure that out.
Right.
Okay. He departs, gives you a little salute, a little casual salute because they're not soldiers, and heads out. Seppi.
Yes.
Big Seppi, not little Seppi.
Hey.
You can head to your temple.
I will do so and wait.
The usual goings on are happening in the temple. There's a soup line running right now for the poor and destitute of Hyven. Hal is watching dutifully over the small band of acolytes you have. And shortly, arriving precisely on time, would be Cade Bolton, the paladin. It is the same armor you've seen him in always. He never seems to be out of uniform, so to speak, with his Alumno Defiance bandana. He arrives, walking in and immediately curious about the whole space, as he has been every time you've seen him when you resurrected his compatriots. But he sees you and nods to you. Septimus, it is good to see you. It's been some time since we rendezvoused, so to speak.
Yes, I've been busy. Please come into the back area so we may talk in private.
I I see that you have continued your evolution. As he looks to your jaw.
Great fear of mine was drowning out at sea, or just drowning in general. This allows me to breathe underwater with ease, and I might overcome that fear.
Fascinating. You're able to bypass your own weaknesses with this power. And fears. Fears, good. Good, interesting. But you had something you wish to speak about.
As I'm sure you're aware, Mr. Grieves is pushing, or has bolstered a lot of support throughout the populace of Hyven. And this push for the moving up of the election puts us in a bit of a bind. Hence my desperation.
Yes.
Now, I wouldn't ask this if it wasn't absolutely necessary. I know we're not on allied terms. However, given the sort of mending that Iron Mana and the Alumno Defiance has had, Svant's hoping to purchase any information at all that could lead me in the right direction to discovering his true identity.
True identity. Something we've been after as well. Given some of the burns Grieves has given my captain. There's a recent, not too long ago, message from some erratic agent of Grieves claiming something about our deal. We knew no knowledge of it, and we... just more evidence that our alliance with Grieves that we once had was not fruitful and was only proving a detriment to our cause. I can speak with the captain if this arrangement, this purchase of information would be beneficial. Though we have been staying underground since our encounter, of course we're still cued into the news of the day, so we are aware. I think Hastings would be most interested in this exchange. I'm not surprised to you that funding is what we need, so we are somewhat cut off from the larger movement, given the situation in Hyven and Aldhalor. We have brothers and sisters around the rest of the islands, but no means of connecting with them.
Well, as I said, if I'd be willing to help in more than just coin, if information proves fruitful. So if you think your captain would see me, then please speak with him. Set up a time I can, I suppose, meet with him.
I'll speak to him today. Hopefully by the end of the night you'll know if he's interested. The captain, he sort of adjusts himself, like a hand on his hip, the other on the pommel of his weapon. Upon hearing of this meeting, instructed me to inquire. And he's sort of like, he's just like wandering the room and like looking about as any kind of like curious soldier might, and then his eyes land back on you. These enhancements, augmentations. What does this procedure look like? These truly simply blessings? Or is there more material to these enhancements? As he eyes your arms and back to your face.
Well, the gifts of Machina, I suppose, come in different forms of devotion. As I lift up his right arm. So, this augmentation was when I was still a young cleric. Had more materials was necessary, but with proper prayer and offerings, was able to affix it to myself, although with a deal of pain and uncertainty of it working. Needed some help with an artificer as well to make sure that the components worked. But this, however, as he turns to his left side, was formed most recently, not soon after I developed my church here.
Yes.
Proving my conviction and my devotion to Machina. Painless reward. So, I propose to you, and you can take it as you want. There are options for people who are interested in these blessings. If you wish to commit yourself fully to Machina as a devout servant, I could see, or I can believe that this would be an augmentation that you could acquire. However, if it's something you're not as eager to, dedicate yourselves for, seeing as you have your own ambitions in mind, I think something more like this could be created, just from my own invocation.
This devotion, Machina's Whisper, is a new faith, and the whispers of Machina's Whisper are only really known to us as the delusions of etherheads in the slums of Halcyon. But Halcyon is filled with Machina. Those discovered and reallocated to their purposes in the city, and those built from the ruins of old. I'm fascinated. I would never expect to have met a whisperer who's as clear-headed as you, devoted and proven. A glimmer of truth to the mad ravings in the streets. Especially so far from that center, given out here the fear of Machina amongst the people of Aldhalor. Machina don't walk the streets like they do in Halcyon. I myself have not seen Halcyon. I hope one day to see the glittering city restored to its power as it was in the republics of old, in the kingship of old, but I can't help but be curious of the devotions necessary, of the values, the hopes of one so devoted as you, those you've rebirthed. They speak of whispers in the night.
Nothing less than a beckoning call to rejoin Machina. I might think of Machina less as of God, but that is a binding consciousness. We are all part of Machina, fragmented. That is where devotion lies when I speak. Not necessarily through prayer, but an intuition to listen deep within oneself. The yearning to want to connect back. And that's where enlightenment occurs.
A kinship.
No, I've heard of the discordant Machina automatons in Halcyon. And I someday wish to go there myself and see it for myself. It's only a theory now, but as Machina exists as a consciousness, there is an antithesis. Lacuna is his name. A void. Yeah. An endless hunger to suck all knowledge and consciousness. And I'm afraid that perhaps that these wandering, aggressive beings might have been turned, or at least severed, from the greater will.
a parasite of knowledge and will. Sounds like the extractive, abusive, oppressive powers of Iranor, of the augury of Halcyon. A return to unity. I may come back to speak more of this with you if you wish, or would allow me.
I'd welcome it. I'm always enjoy helping those and spreading the good word, as you will.
Good word. But a whisper for now, but perhaps a great torrent for the future. I'll bring your words to Hastings. Perhaps you'll see more of us from the Alumno Defiance in your temple.
I look forward. We can always use more in our congregation.
Well, good tidings to you, Septimus. I will bring your word. Goodbye. And he turns and he's still hand on the pommel as he's walking away, just kind of gives one last look to you. And there's just sort of this smirk on his face. Not a smirk of condescension, but a smirk of a smirk of discovery, of revelations.
Yeah.
As he exits your temple. Flash forward to after Septimus has whatever he eats for lunch, which I always imagine to be a pale paste. 1 o'clock comes around as some of the representatives of the other temples do take up your offer to meet with you. Whether they're amenable to your offer is up for debate, but the first to arrive would, of course, be the Shepherd of the Sept of the Moon and the High Grace of the Church of the Everflame, given that they are of the more formal churches here. Shortly after them would arrive the Noldori Collective representative, and those beyond those before representative, and of course, late as always, is the representative from the Church of the Revelry Tavern. You would have Amra Elar, the shepherd of the Sept of Iluvania, the leader who you would at least have heard probably from Jacques led the Iluvania celebrations previously. Amra would introduce herself to you. Septimus, I have not had the pleasure of meeting you face to face, although I've watched with eager eyes at the development of your church. I come to represent the interests of the moon.
You're most welcome. The followers of Iluvania are vast and deep, and are welcome.
As the shepherd of so many souls across this chain of islands, of course I'd be interested in your thoughts, given the proclivity, the innumerableness of our worshippers, and this word is maybe has a little bit of a bite to it, the undeniable power of the moon. But I would like to introduce you to Syrah. She's the High Grace of the Church of the Everflame, and a staunch ally of the moon. There's a smile on this Elysian elf's face. There's a little bit of haughtiness for sure. As Syrah, whereas Amra is in very fine silks, a lot of jewelry, all up along her very long ears are all of these different piercings that go up to the ends, this long silver braid that goes down to her waist, and those piercing Elysian eyes with the black sclera and the points of silver light at her pupils. She is otherworldly. You don't really spent a lot of time with Elysians. You've definitely seen Elysians, but this is like in the stories you've heard of the worshippers of Illyvania. This is like the like graceful alien that is Elysia, the traditional Elysian, and then Syrah is this much more simply garbed, plain, very thready robes with the rosaries of the Everflame burnt around her waist. I imagine Septimus has a bit of knowledge of the other faiths, given his interest in these things. She is what would be known as a burnt member of the Church of the Everflame, which means that she has special favor from the Everflame, and given your resurrection by the Everflame, this would be a little bit more apparent to you of the values of that. You think back to your brief time in the Tabernacle of Blood when you were being resurrected, but Syrah just gives you a gentle nod. She has this olive skin with this blonde hair that's held back very tight in a bun underneath the hood that she wears, with a star pendant, the star of the Everflame around her neck. And then Amra would gesture to this gnomish fellow who comes up immediately to you and holds a hand out for a handshake. She goes, and this, of course, is Edgar, the representative from the Noldori Collective. His interests are quite specialized to the interest of the Noldo, although there are not many Noldo on the Aldhalor Islands. He does not necessarily turn away anybody interested in the collective of the Noldo and the worship of Noldogra, chief ally of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
As Edgar shakes your hand, pleasure to meet you, Septimus.
Pleasure to as well.
I've been most curious to witness the preachings of your acolytes. This concept of unity, of this spirit. It sounds an awful lot like Noldogra. It would be interesting to see if you ever want to come by any of my lectures in the temple, because I have a lot to discuss about unity, particularly in the oneness of the minds of the Noldo that can be extended beyond the gnomish folk.
Well, I would love to hear that and hear your thoughts, and I'd be happy to share with mine insights as well. Perhaps some different time, though, but... And then there's the revel. That's not all of them, right?
There's two more.
Okay.
Amra, you get the distinct feeling that the Church of Illyvania's dominance has allowed Amra to be this sort of like figurehead of the temple district. And of course, we have our friend here. He only goes by the voice. A representative of those beyond and those before. Leader of the folk who have no home in our temples, though they might be welcome. He speaks for those dead gods that temples have faded, and collects followers that have no shepherd. And this guy is similar to the Church of the Everflame Grace. He just has like very simple robes. He is very pale. He's balding, receding hair that kind of comes back into this little tight, small ponytail. Older, like probably a human in his like 80s. His eyes are kind of like pocked with like glaucoma and floaters and whatnot. He looks like he's blind. As he would just sort of look to
green.
No. Honestly, he looks a lot like the way I imagine him is he looks like the if you remember from Game of Thrones, there was that one guy who was like the dealing in necromancy. He created the mountains like undead version. He was the kicked
Kyber?
out of the Kyber. Yeah. He has that same sort of like older feature with the hair held back and this very like deep stare at you. He doesn't say anything though when they introduce him. And it's at that time that our goblin friend from the Revelry of Roe kind of bursts in, and he's just like, Hey, everybody, I'm sorry I'm late. We had quite a raucous evening last night. There was something in the air. I don't know what it was. It was the grace of the great bard, I think. We were up late, so I overslept a little bit. Amra! It's good to see you, you old stiff.
Hearing that and putting two and two together and like knowing Sassy just like closed eyes for a second, like, Well, thank you for coming as well. So I don't want to take up all your time, much of your time. I appreciate you all coming here. As I said in my letter, what I wanted to discuss was obviously myself and Iron and Mana has clearly made an impact in Hyven in the coming weeks, or the previous weeks. And our power is ever growing. And at least for us, the adversary is as Mr. Grieves. And now I'm not sure how all of you feel towards this, but I can't imagine that in figure lurking in the shadows, wishing to seize power, could not be beneficial to that of the city. We, and myself especially, see it as a step to gain individual power and ultimately will harm the citizens and people of the city. Now, given Jaquette's proposition for each district to come up with elected representatives or a discussion, I thought it prudent to bring everybody here together and discuss, or at least hear out from all of you, where you see Hyven, how you, or what your thoughts essentially are.
They all kind of look to each other as you say that. Go ahead.
Because I can't make it more clear that although we have become very political in that of Hyven, me personally, I want to see what is best for me. And that doesn't necessarily mean that Iron and Mana is running things. It is running the show. But I do see us as a force to try to correct the wrongs that have begotten this city.
You see our representative from the revelry. He kind of like sits down in a chair immediately, and like, he's like looking around. He's like, "Got any grub in this place? It's pretty skeetic in here. Not really my style."
We have some cream of wheat. I think some pottage.
I'll pass. And you see he's like chewing on like a toothpick. He's like, I mean, Grieves is bid for city control. I mean, independence from Aldhalor. I mean, it doesn't really affect us that much, as far as, the revelry goes. We go wherever the world goes. And he hasn't infringed upon our abilities to welcome those for a good meal and a good dance. I don't really necessarily see him as a threat, so to speak. And then you hear Amra kind of immediately. He's like, well, he may not be a threat now, and he may not be encroaching upon the Temple District or our wishes to express our faiths in the way that we see fit, or shepherd our flocks, but Septimus is not incorrect that a seize for power is a dangerous thing from someone who I think is undoubtedly untrustworthy. Like Syrah chimes in, the sort of more mousy Grace. She's, well, I think, if I'm to say my opinion, how can we necessarily trust that Iron and Mana is not also seizing power here, given the expansionism of your congregation, Septimus, and she kind of looks you up and down, and the don't mean to be rude, but the corruption of the Alma form. you came to our church, and we offered our services of resurrection. And there were some unnatural things that we bore witness to. I don't mean to offend, but it's extreme what you're doing. It's untested matters of ravaging our Alma forms, gifted to us by our grace, or our moon, or other patron deities. Could this not just simply be you wishing to proselytize your whispers?
Septimus will kind of just listen, nod to what she's saying. Kind of just wait to see if anybody else says anything.
Edgar would pop up and say, well, you know, our not to use the terminology of you more esoteric faiths, but our Lord and Savior, Wiswick, Bilgru, Farlight,
Yellen,
Jedri, Pedri, Netherrock. In his service to the ending of the Palace conflict, he had a full body augmentation. And he's still out there pursuing the great good of Nuldagra, spreading his adventuring ways to solve the problems of the people. As far as the Nuldagra Collective is concerned, there's no desecration of the Alma with the augmentation of the body. We, in fact, are ourselves vessels of an Alma, built, crafted by Nuldagra in the past. So I see no reason why to think that this belief of Septimus's is contrary to the will or good of the people.
Turning to Nems, and thank you for your defense. But, and then turning back to, it was the Everflame one, right?
Yep, Sierra.
Sorry, Sierra. I did not bring everyone here to discuss the truths of the universe and to state our claim as to who may be right, which one of us may be good for the people. I believe that all of us wish to see good for all. And what I think that we should discuss is how the city should be run. Because those that have been in charge have failed it. And you may not trust me, given my desecration, you say, or my beliefs. But I called you here to at least show that I'm willing to listen. You may be frightened by some of my methods, but I can assure you, and I will prove, that it is not in a domineering way.
Give me a persuasion roll with advantage.
Oh, actually, no. 17.
Okay. You see the goblin kind of like takes the toothpick out and says, hey, as far as we're concerned, as long as good food, good revelry, peace of the people, the hungry are fed, you know, we're on board. You know, you're not wrong, Ami. The Grieves is An unaccounted for part of the equation. We don't know how
He
he
shut
would.
down Fight Night. How could you like him?
We're not going to necessarily know what his leadership style is going to be like, but based on his goons in the streets, although they don't come into the Temple District, I don't exactly think he's of the mind of freedom. So, I guess that's my stake, Septimus, is that as long as this is something that is going to enrich the lives of our people, our flocks, as you would say, Ami, I see no reason why you're not a better, or at least the path of Iron Man is not a better alternative to the squabbling of Commodores and shadow figures. And then Edgar sort of is nodding along with him. He goes, absolutely. You know, our the voice of Naltagra, Wiswick, Farlight, Yellen, Jedri, Pedrine, Netherrock. I think I skipped one.
There you go.
I used to have that down whenever I had to play
Bill
Naldo.
Groom,
When you were saying it
Farlight,
every
Yellen, Jedri, Petri.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. Believes in the pursuit of knowledge, believes in the pursuit of greater peace, and you know, in our own creative way, you know, helping people's lives be better. So all evidence points towards at least Grieves not being that, and I have no concerns whatsoever with your augmentations, Septimus. In fact, I'm very curious about them, given Wiswick, Bilgru, Farlight, Yellen, Jeju, Pedri's own augmentations. I would be curious to see what relation there is between Nultagra and your Machina. And then Amra would look up and say, the wisdom of the moon and the far-reaching knowledge of Iluvania will guide me towards what is right. And my people have hesitations towards concepts of augmentation of the form given our sins of our queen. But if what you say is true and your faith is good, I see no reason why those who wish to worship your machina cannot indulge in your devotions. Though I will admit I have some skepticism given some factions in my homeland that have dabbled in similar augmentations and the pursuit of secret esoteric knowledge that can scar the Alma form. But like you said, Septimus, we're not here to debate dogma. We're here to decide the fate of the faith of the people. So, a conversation is to be had on that representation. Like Syrah, you see Syrah is just like... He's almost fully Machina himself. His flesh is gone. Nearly. What avenue do the gods have through him other than this figure? Are we not forgetting the agents of the enemy whose bodies were twisted into monstrosities to serve rot? I'm sorry, I cannot be part of this.
If that is your decision to make, then you are free to leave. But know that things are being set in motion in Hyven. And if you wish to have a voice in what that might be, you are welcome to come back. And I will have an ear to listen.
And as you say, that is when the Qyburn-like fellow, the older man, the voice of those beyond and those before, steps up and rests a hand on the shoulder of Syrah. And there's like a weight to it. Like she almost like collapses a little and looks, and like there's a reverence for this figure. And you might even like think yourself a reverence to this figure with just the concept of those beyond, those before. Like without faith, the destination of your God is his temple. Without congregation, without your devotion, your gods will be resigned to the ether that is him. And he speaks to Syrah in this moment. All of your faith will find resting in my temple, in the long history of Alma. A unity. He looks to you, Septimus, as he says that. Whatever path your people, your flocks follow, your destination is the same. The long grave. So, Syrah, High Grace, the Everflames in Dariel, would you abandon your flock to have no voice in the sway of their home? And she's kind of like, it's the will of the district that I will entertain this conversation with the right of my worshippers to hold no kinship with the desecration of our bodies, or the bodies of those tricked, deceived. She sort of looks away with that brazenness, but she seems at least willing to be part of the conversation.
Okay. Well then, perhaps the start is turning to a leader for the district.
And you even like, just like in the moment, everyone notices like Amra just sort of like stands taller.
Yeah. And to show that I truly want this to be uninfluenced, I would say to choose amongst yourselves. I can opt out, or I will opt out.
And you would see like a genuine like look of warmth with that expression from most of them, other than Syrah, who like kind of begrudgingly is like, all right, fine. But Amra just kind of like stand taller and says, all things will of course be a collective decision, but as the representative of the most faithful of the city, of our world, I have ear to many more worshippers and their interests in Hyven. And of course, I will respect the will of our collective, but I would be remiss not to say that I may be in the right position as the voice of our district.
Well, I was going to tell everyone to consider it over the night, but if you are all in agreement with that, then we can decide now.
You see, the goblin is like, yeah, let Ami do it. She's the most responsible. As Edgar is like, well, given the relationship between Naldagra and Iluvania and the partnerships of our Wiswick, Bilgru, Farlight, Yellen, Jedri, Pedri, Netherrock, and Kiran Ilasana. I do believe that Amra's flock will have the most interest at heart for the future of all people. The voice just gives sort of like a nod, and then Seer's like, he's still in a tizzy. Seer's like, I must agree, despite the instincts within my heart, to advocate for my own beliefs. I think Amra will be the most fair. And Amra puts a hand up and says, "We'll bring it all to our own individual congregations. If you are all in agreement after consulting with your people, I will happily take up the position of representative of the temple court."
Just like Huron.
Very well then. Then I shall let my group know that the Temple District is at least on board with this decision. And perhaps we can meet on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to discuss matters that could improve our district further.
Yes, it is about time that the temple court convenes with one another in a more formal way. You can tell your Jacques Touchard that we appreciate his devotion to the voice of the people. We appreciate his desire to bring some prosperity to Hyven beyond the selfish whims of lone Alma. Thank you, Septimus. Though your church is young, I will watch with eager eyes at your devotion. Yeah, what Ami said.
Yeah. Well, may you all have a blessed day. And I look forward to working with you in the future.
And they all one by one depart, with Sierra giving a little bit of a shake of her head, but following leaving. The voice just kind of lingering and just staring at you with his cataract eyes, and then turning with his head still looking at you, and then turns and walks away. As you have at least unified in some ways the temple court and secured some kind of representative that at least you had some conversation and part in.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So I think after that would be when the collective party meets to go speak with Emil about the list of what was I going to say? List of conspirators. So I would say you all can meet up at the exit of the Lighthouse District. You'll really probably meet up with Fyrn at the Admiralty Court since he's training with the guards. So we'll jump up to that where you all enter the Admiralty Court. Easily enough can get through the gatehouse with your credentials, and meet up with Fyrn in the Sapphirine Circle.
Could I just say that I had briefly chatted with the guard captain in the Admiralty Court? I know it was a woman dwarf, but for her name I wrote Captain Underpants, so I don't really know what her real name is.
I do have it written down somewhere.
But generally I just want to facilitate you know, an escort
Kamal
for the.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
under Fury.
I was close.
You were close. Also, the name of the revelry guy is Tullus.
Thank you. I was trying to remember. It's he is literally a 1984 game card. So thank you for that. But yes, you can absolutely talk with Under Fury and what you
Yeah,
want
I just
to.
want to prepare a escort for the Admiralty Court's, whoever it may be, the Admiralty Court's thing, and perhaps schedule it for like the day before the actual meeting, so that way we could like throw off people trying to, you know, maybe enter like seed in any way.
Yeah, she's like, yes, Fyrn, we can definitely organize that. To have the, I read Mr. Touchard's editorial, and we'll, I think the people, the Academy, and the leadership of the Commodore's Manor are all in agreement that there will be some sort of elected representative, and I will arrange with you security for that person.
Great. Very good. Thank you. Your soldiers are doing well. They are outnumbered, but they are strong in heart.
It has been helpful to have your guidance and training as an extra reinforcement of their discipline. I think they're used to a rather easy post. And she smiles at you when it came to before all of this conflict. Stay behind the walls, make sure these rich folk are happy. But obviously there's more at stake with the current climate.
Aye.
All right. You all meet up then in the Sapphire Park to head over to the Commodore's offices and Emil's office. You enter into the lobby, the pristine hotel-esque lobby. And can, once again, Doyle is not there. But the pages are there to guide you up to Emil's office. When you enter in, Emil stands up from behind his desk, covered in papers. There's a mostly spent cigar in an ashtray. As his like usual fine like suit that he wears, like you can see like the collar is unbuttoned, the tie that he has is loosened, the vest is unbuttoned, as he just looks to you all. It's funny now that we mentioned Arcane in the break. Like I always imagined Emil as kind of looking like Chase from Arcane, but he opens his arms up and goes, Iron and Mana. It's been a little while since we've convened. I'm happy to meet with you today. I'm sure there's much for us to discuss.
Emil, I don't mean to be rude, but it's only been a few days since we last saw you.
A few days is a long time when managing a city, Jacquet.
Oh, of course. That's why I didn't mean to be rude.
Especially given the conditions of late. And I appreciate us meeting after you thwarted the protests outside the walls. But I've been dealing with a lot.
We met right after that protest.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I said appreciated meeting with you after you thwarted the protest.
Oh, okay. Yes. So, during our last conversation, we had discussed your furthered assistance in us taking down Grieves. And I think what came to both of our minds was a certain list of names we had provided the Commodore many moons ago about illicit dealings between high priority individuals within our
city.
Yes, Jacquette. I was able to. Oh, Saskia.
I'm back.
It's good to have you back. Sorry, I noticed last I heard you had left for many months. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
I also, Saskia, you arrived recently on a ship.
I did?
Yes, you did. I'm sorry, Jacques, I'll get to the list in a moment, but this is very important. We've been trying to infiltrate the docks, and you were able to dock, and we have many spies, although we may not be able to affect a lot. We know what happens, and you were able to dock.
I was. Rather clumsily, but I did.
Do you remember the dock worker that you worked with?
Aye.
Could you identify him from a lineup of people?
Aye.
More on that in a moment.
Okay.
Yes, Jacques, I was able to acquire the list. I was able to get the materials from the offices. An extensive list. Truthfully, I would say is compromising nearly every faculty of renown within the university has had some kind of dealings with either Grieves or a proxy of Grieves. Now, it seems as though, and he looks at you, our suspicions are correct in that there is a unifying theme to this. Cadmus. It seems as though some of the university faculty, the academy faculty, were dealing with Grieves without even knowing they were dealing with Grieves, because they were dealing with Cadmus. And I also noticed a suspicious back channel from Cadmus in these documents with the Hyven Times. There was not a specific journalist here, but there was clear indication that Cadmus was working with the Hyven Times in some capacity when it came to his dealings with Grieves, whether it was, from our evidence, spoon-feeding the Hyven Times interesting scoops on the comings and goings of smuggling, or connecting the Hyven Times in some way to Grieves. Whether that is just the simple, easiest explanation, and that he was their contact for the editorials that Grieves posts constantly. But it undeniably links Cadmus to a professional relationship with Grieves. Or at least the Syndicate.
Definitely that bastard Morris Pappas.
Possibly. There's no, like I said, there's no indication of which journalist there, whether it's Alefina herself or this Pappas you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, the gossip journalist. It was mostly had to deal with comings and goings of the docks and some things not connected to Grieves, like leaking studies at the university that might drum up readership or might be controversial. But there is almost nobody who was not dealing with Grieves in some sense. Known or unbeknownst to them.
That doesn't quite surprise me. What I'm more worried about, and maybe this was foolish of me to think in the first place, was that the Hyven Times is not wholly neutral in this fight.
I agree with you, Jacques, which is why I did some more digging into the Hyven Times.
Oh. Please show us your backstory.
No, give me a moment to pull up my notes about this.
Of course. If only
Yes.
Reardon was here to see. He just remembers it all in his head and usually comes out not quite the way it should, but...
Well, you know.
Are you looking for a job?
There's like this distinct like difference of like someone who is a professional like problem solver, and like Reardon, who is like a trainee of yours, who has shown great
Right.
promise, of course, obviously with your proud moment of him becoming his own adventurer. Yes, the Hyven Times, and it took great effort to get this information. Probably had to contact some channels back in the capital, which I didn't want to do, given that we were trying to keep the governor a little bit at arm's length with this, because we don't want him bringing in a fucking Zon fleet to blockade the entire city. This would only fuel Grieves' rhetoric. The Hyven Times is owned by an eminent house of Halcyon. House Aurum of Halcyon owns the Hyven Times. Now that's alone not necessarily, the murder weapon to show that they have an agenda, but it is something.
Emil, does your office have any printing capabilities?
I'm sure we can scrape together the resources. The printing abilities of the Hyven Times is not proprietary. We have our ways of printing materials, pamphlets. It may not have the mass capacity of the Hyven Times larger elementally powered printing press, but we could definitely print things.
There's an Academy newsletter, I'm sure.
If we could, in secret, print all of this, get the word out to the people, because I know there are many in the city who see the Hyven Times as a parasite. They see them as outsiders coming in to stir the tea, as it were. If we can set up our own quasi-publication, at least for now. I mean, my initial thought was to have Fyrn go in there and just drag their printing press out and use it ourselves, but I don't know how well that would go over.
I hate that thing. Can we just smash it?
That's not off the table.
I mean, the Hyven Times has been a benefit and a problem in the city for the interests of the governor and the commodore. We have the ability to print some sort of pamphlet. I do think it would be wise if this pamphlet was not distributed by the Admiralty Court.
I agree. And I think that we have enough connections around town to disperse it in a more natural way.
I'm sorry, can I ask a question? I'm still playing a little bit of catch up here. So, are we stopping the I use the word very loosely, partnership with the Hyven Times because they're corrupt and now we're taking it into our own hands? What is the point of this next, this additional publication?
The information we have directly connects the Times with Grieves and shows that they are complicit in his potential takeover and that they are not going to print this information, right?
I see.
And Septimus, who we want to expose, works with the Times, so if we were to try to print an expose on Septimus's connection to Grieves, there's a very good chance that they won't print it, and maybe they'll go back and tell Septimus and Grieves, and they'll get on to us.
I see. Right. Okay. Thank you. That makes sense.
Of course.
And the other thing to conceive here, and you see this like luster in Emil's eyes that he's been spending the last few days just locked in his office like Charlie in Always Sunny with the Pepe Sylvia, just with his own map of connections where before this he was just trying to hold the city together, but because you guys gave him sort of a fire to fight back in a way, he's now I'm seeing the Matrix. as he's just sort of like, and Saskia, when you arrived on your ship, you did not notice the vessel in the harbor. The vessel, the one that never docks. I didn't explain this to you, Saskia, but you would have seen this.
Okay, great.
Is this the AEC?
Mm-hmm.
The one that never docks.
It has no sails. It has no sails. It has no seeming steam engines.
Yeah, I did see that. I clocked it. Thought it was strange.
I don't know. I'm just this Hyven Times is owned by Halcyon. Grieves is trying to take control, supplant the governor's control over this region. Halcyon must be doing something. I don't know what. It's just a feeling, but
You think Mr. Grieves is working for Halcyon?
I can't confirm it, but he's either working for them and sees partnerships with them as amenable to his ends. Halcyon has a tenuous alliance with the governor to stop piracy of their ships. Mr. Grieves wants to return power to the crew of Hyven. I don't know.
We did also mention the trains, right? The train line.
Train lines. He's blocking. The syndicate is blocking the train lines. I don't know. It's just the economic interest of Halcyon is evident here. Halcyon's proxy control of Aldhalor that they will never truly get from the governor. But if there's a new port, a new place to build a sky spire, a storm spire, decommission the one in the capital, go to the free state of Halcyon. Sorry, I've been up for 3 days drinking nothing but coffee and smoking cigars. I might be crazy. And you in your own investigations might unravel a different plot. It is undeniable that through this web, in some way, Halcyon is influencing Hyven. Mr. Grieves is influencing Cadmus, who is influencing the Hyven Times. Cadmus has dealings with Halcyon, as we all know.
The AEC
Mhm.
is based out of
The Midlands, the capital lands.
right. Okay.
They're
And-
based out of Avenir, which is their own city.
Right. And they have people from Halcyon on their board
Yep.
and everything.
Correct.
But
The
they
person
themselves are not Halcyonic.
Yes, like the corporation
Okay.
itself is an Aldhalian corporation who happens to work frequently with Halcyonic expats.
Mm-hmm.
And they are, if there's anything within Aldhalor that has the Halcyonic vibes, it's the AEC, like this massive magic technology, this extractive policy of elementals. The representative of the AEC you met was a Halcyonic elf.
Right.
I
We've met the Halcyonic, and we've met Halcyon before.
yes.
Up in Stony Heath. They were connected with the mining guilds up there.
I can't prove it, obviously, but there's clearly a state as powerful as Halcyon. Halcyon's policy for the last 30 years has been expansionism of their power in other territories. Not necessarily through conquest, but through economics.
If we have evidence that puts Cadmus working with Mr. Grieves, could we possibly, instead of just releasing this information on our own, perhaps if we were to confront him with this information as if we were about to release it to the public, it will it'll make him do something or say something that we can take advantage of, or maybe we can see what he does afterwards. Keep an eye on him after we send a representative to give him the information. Maybe leak it to someone that we know is a spy of his.
I think I see where you're getting at, and I think our options in my head are one of two ways. We put this public, we let the people know and see this potential conspiracy laid out in front of them. Or we do confront Cadmus and we see if we can get more damning evidence or a lead on how to take down Grieves before this goes public. I think leaking the information, trying to follow Cadmus that way, I don't know if that will...
Well, I'm saying we could do both, say something along the lines of, we're going to release this information tomorrow morning in our next, in our next Admiralty Court or whatever. We're gonna let everybody know it's gonna be, we're publishing it now and it'll be released tomorrow morning, and see what that drums up.
Threaten him with the kill switch, so to speak. See what comes out, whether it's Cadmus or Grieves you're confronting.
Maybe he'll fold and give us all the information in order to make a deal for himself.
Cadmus is callous and self-serving.
Might also double down if he sees Grieves and Halcyon as the stronger force.
In which case we release the information anyway.
My thought is that I'd rather catch them with their pants around their ankles than give them a chance to react before the news actually gets out.
Yeah, it's more dangerous, I think, to confront him, especially given, what just happened. I know the fort is, well protected right now, but
What's more dangerous? We hold on to this information till the last minute to spring it on them when they're ready to, combat us with everything that they have? Or...
What I'm saying is that we release it now, or as soon as possible, and then it will influence the public debates to come. Because in my mind, that is the battlefield we should be winning on.
what if we did a version of that, Fyrn? What if, I know a couple of us can go invisible. What if we publish the information while one of us is planted near Cadmus just to gauge his reaction?
That's what I suggested, yeah.
No, but
But
not,
no confrontation, I think Sas is saying, where you publish it
He
so
doesn't know
everyone
that
can
we're
see
there.
it. But
Yes.
you spy on him to see
Yes.
if he runs, if he tries to escape, if he tries to damage control,
To still get the
distance himself.
reaction.
And
just
even
removing
Saskia,
ourselves.
even in that moment, you can confront him depending on his reaction. If he is reacting where he suddenly is seemingly trying to escape the city, you confront him and say, you're caught. Along Jacquette's eyes of your pants around your ankles. The information is out there that you've worked with Grieves. What are you going to do? Because Cadmus, if I can get into his brain, might be I had no choice because of the restrictions of the Commodore. I had to deal with this man, and he was nothing but fortuitous towards my ends to advance the Academy. He could twist this, but if
If we just release the information and don't keep an eye on him, he may actually do just that and escape. And then what do we have?
Who cares? We win. Cadmus can do whatever the fuck he wants.
is there somebody you can trust in the Academy that you could potentially enlist to help you with preventing an escape or helping to at least influence Cadmus?
Well, Bruce would probably have the best connections there, but otherwise, Sigel's our man. He did say that he would help us how he can, right?
Sounds good.
And he's
And he
not too
seems
fond
like-
of Cadmus, if I remember.
Yes. Not too fun at all.
Well, perhaps you should visit Sigil. While you're doing that, I can start putting the resources together to print. If you can give me how you'd like it printed, and I can have the pamphlets created, deliver them to you subtly, and you can distribute
I can
them
have-
when is right for you.
I can have my network come and help you do that discreetly. My thought was to distribute it to the watering holes, the inns, the taverns, all the places that, know me. But also we can hire some criers. I know a few orphans that could use some extra silver.
Our advantage right now, to both all of your points, is that Grieves doesn't know we have this information yet. Or at least the hope is that Grieves doesn't know we have this information yet. Confronting Cadmus early could tip off Grieves. Confronting the Hive and Times early could tip off Grieves. So I think this fusion of your ideas, Fyrn and Jacquet's, makes sense. Monitor Cadmus to see his reaction. Try to extract what you can if you can catch him with his pants around his ankles, while also distributing the truth to Hyven.
I like it. Another thing, if Halcyon's connected, we just gave the Alumno Defiance a reason to stick around and fight it out. I know they want to save their homeland, but if they can deal a blow to that empire here, it might mean that they're a little weaker when they show up at their shores.
And the board is set then. I had no hope till you came back, Iron and Mana.
Oh, that's not true. You had hope. It was just, a piss in the snow.
Well, my hope was what any bureaucrat hopes for, is that I would return to the capital and live my life out as someone who has to bear the shame that he failed a city. And you there's that tone there immediately that reminds you that Emil is a politician. That
Right.
he nowhere in his mind does he think that he was ever going to get strung up or killed in this. That he always had an exit strategy in some way, and that he cares about Hyven, but at the same time has an escape effect.
Oh, no.
I thought part of your augmentation was that you weren't weak in the flesh, like needing to blow your nose, you savage.
Mealy
I
puts a
know,
complex.
it's like women too. Yeah.
Mealy puts the next thing Septimus is going to replace is his nose because of that comment. But Emil is absolutely an ally. The last time you talked to him, you discerned that he cares about doing right by the people, but like most politicians, he has an escape pod. And that he thinks the worst thing that come from this is that it's just a failure in his record, as opposed to Hyven will collapse and he will be, in danger.
Is there anything in that information, by the way, that you dug up that connects the Commodore to any of this?
Well, unfortunately, there's undoubtedly connections just simply because the Commodore funded the university from her own wealth. A lot of the Academy's budget came from the Commodore's own donations, although not all of it. Of course, there's the tuition that funded most of it.
Direct connection between Commodore Umadori and... What's his first name, Grieves?
Renning.
Renning Grieves.
No. The one thing I can say for certain, there was not any sort of, at least evidence that the Commodore had direct authority over these allocations. She donated the money to the Academy. The Academy did what they wished with it. She cared about education, but she did not necessarily care enough to be involved.
Well, I guess that's something at least. Okay.
She started, and this is him, like, you can see, like, this is like a politician defending another politician. It's like, she started much more involved. She had dreams, of course, of a more equitable academy. Folk from the undercity, the lower city, or folk from the country could come and get an education that they otherwise would not have. But politics of it all ground her down. And even that, like, reminds you all that of the fact that at one point, Commodore Ormidori was on the track to become a Green Knight. And that Balfour had this mission to implore her to see how she could be better for the people.
Right. All right. So our plan as it stands now, Emil, you get that printing equipment together. I'll have something written up to you by the end of the night, and hopefully in the wee mornings of the day, depending on how much you can print, or later in the day, whatever. But the quicker we get this done, the better. In the meantime, I think we should go talk to Sigil and maybe see where Bruce is. Get him involved on this.
Sorry, did you need me to identify somebody?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Hold that for a moment. Fyrn. I believe your relationship with our god can help here as well. I don't know exactly the best way to do this, but like when we first talked, a lot of these guardsmen live in the lower city. If we can get the guard on board with this as well, they can help spread this truth. Similarly, your adventurers have done so much good in the mercantile district. It sounds perhaps dirty, but plants in these taverns who can help foster these conversations.
Easy.
Okay. Excellent.
Can be done.
Excellent. And
As
Septimus.
well as,
Yes, Fyrn.
yeah, I mean, no, that's fine. I was thinking maybe as well as plants, but revealing the information, but also just information gathering as well.
Yes.
I know that the people that work for Jaquette are also quite capable of, gathering information from taverns. So maybe they can work together with my people to, both spread and learn more information.
Yes, and Septimus, I know you're a man of faith and may not want to besmirch your temple, but similarly, your own network, the people, the needy come to your temple for food and shelter. I don't see a better... And this is like really where there's like a politician smile on his face of like a better place for distributing information.
Well, I could do what I can and let the people in my congregation know of these facts, and I'm sure that word from them will spread. But it wouldn't just be my temple. The meeting I had today went very well, Jaquette. I meant to tell you. I met with the other representatives of the temple district. They all got them on board to agreeing to your proposition of a leader being in charge. They don't want to see Mr. Grieves. They don't want to see Mr. Grieves take hold of the city, so they will guide their flocks as well.
Fantastic. And of course, you are this representative, yes?
I will not be.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. As a gesture of good faith and to earn the trust of the other leaders, I elected to bar myself from nomination.
The whole... You were supposed to be the representative at the Temple District, so then you could nominate me. I'm the one that's supposed to be acting humble here, not... God. Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
And Sass, the reason I ask this is that if you've identified a weak point in the dock workers union, like, that is an important feature. If we can get the dock workers to resist Grieves, the docks open up. If we can supplant his dockmaster, if we can get those workers against his control of the docks, and this representative you bribed is a weak point. Now, we don't have to start at threats, and you can like tell like his first thought was like, let's fucking string this guy up and threaten him and say say things. If you can speak with this dock worker and influence the dock workers guild.
Well, as a newly appointed captain of a ship, I'll see what I can do.
Excellent. We all have parts to play in our next move. I'll begin my part. And the scheme is laid. Given it's pretty late, I think that's where we'll call it tonight.
Okay.
With your plans for springing your own scheme. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, folks, wherever you are in the world, whatever time zone, whatever platform, YouTube, live right now, wherever you are. Thank you for hanging out with us. And we'll be back next week with the continuing unraveling of Hyven to hopefully build it back up into something better. All right. Bye.